Get ready for a game changer. Tonight's guest, professor of actualiology, it's Mike Trapp. Hey! New York Times best punning novelist, it's Reka Shunker.
Hello!
And recipient of the MacArthur Wholesome Grant, it's Ryan Creamer. And your host, me. I've been here the whole time. This is Game Changer, the only game show where the game changes every show. I am your host, Sam Reich. I am joined today by these three lovely contestants. Now, you all understand how the game works?
No.
That's right. Our players have no idea what game it is they're about to play. The only way to learn is by playing. The only way to win is by learning. And the only way to begin is by beginning. So without further ado, let's begin. Ryan, you've watched a TED Talk in your life, I assume?
Yes.
Well, in a moment, I am going to ask you to give one, to share with us a big idea. But don't worry, I'm here to help. I've made for you a presentation to go along with, the only issue being you've never seen it before. Ready to go?
Okay, I think I'm ready to go, yeah.
Ryan, your first slide.
The sun. This thing is hot. I don't know about you guys, but I certainly couldn't live there. Next slide. So all we know on Earth, correct me if I'm wrong, is that people are apt to lose their hair.
I think that's fair to say.
Right. So here's my thought. If we go to the fucking sun, we shoot on a rocket straight the hell right into the middle of it. Now, listen, I know what you're all saying. Too hot. We can't get on there. It might burn us all up. But if there's some sort of cool rocket that will shoot right through all the hotness.
When you say some kind of cool rocket, you mean
Great.
like temperature cool, not like it's just like a cool rocket.
So glad you asked. No, I do mean a cool rocket. Something
Okay,
that's really,
great.
yeah. I will make a point. The only thing worth going to in the middle of the sun is for hair regrowth. And this is just a model of what I think could happen. Next slide, please. All right. So there's going to be a couple things we need to build this cool rocket. And I'm just going to run through them all. You may know these as beans, and that's exactly what we're going to need. All right. The cool rocket will run on Pinto. It'll be made out of kidney. We need lima just for the people to eat on the way there.
You don't want them eating the rocket, that's for sure. They're going to be
Unrelated.
If it's a whole bean
Unrelated.
created rocket. Say, hey, pause off the rocket, buddy. You got all the
Hey, if you're trying to eat some uncooked beans, that's what we got the bag of limas here for.
Now, I know it's hard to distinguish between the beans you can eat in the spaceship, which you can't.
Absolutely. But I want to make clear, our astronauts will be given very intensive bean training before the cool rocket launch.
Are you sure it's easier to give astronauts bean training than it is to give bean experts astronaut training?
Next slide.
Yeah, fuck 4 and 5. Next slide.
Yeah, we don't need 4 and 5.
Once again, Black and Mung get the short end of the stick.
So, all right. We'll be frank with you. All right. We took this to the government and they were not into it. The cool rocket confused them. They weren't as excited as you guys were. Funding was a huge issue. Obviously, there's a lot of things going on in the world right now. They made the argument deserve more funding than the cool rocket and going to the middle of the sun to grow our hair back. So that's why I'm coming to you guys, hoping that you will fund this. We need $45 billion.
Why did you choose to use an X'd out thumbs up instead of a thumbs down?
Great question. So we couldn't secure, it's a Getty Images is a thumbs down, and we didn't have the licensing rights.
You already purchased the thumbs up and blew your budget on thumbs up.
Now, I'm no Photoshop expert, but is not a thumbs up just an upside down thumbs up?
You know what, Reka? That is so funny because I didn't even think to do that. So next slide, please. In conclusion, guys, our work is cut out for us. I mean, a lot of money needs to be secured. And so in conclusion, I would just like to ask, next slide, please.
This is your last.
Guys, I will be honest, I rehearsed this presentation really hard in the thoughts that there would be a slide after this. And I think without a visual aid, I don't feel comfortable truly ending it. So with that, I just thank you for your time.
Wow. Ryan, let's say 2 points for you.
Thank you.
Reka, time for your TED Talk style presentation, beginning with this.
Now, Sam, let me ask you, where are you from?
Oh, how dare you? I had assumed we were safely in another game format.
There is no bitch we will not run into the ground, Sam Reich. We will juice every last drop of juice out of a bit.
You would say, as Trap so astutely put it, that bit has been juiced to death.
Yeah, I think that's safe to say. I think it's lived its 9 lives.
Yeah. Have you guys ever loved something so much you just overuse it?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay, next slide. Well, so has my friend Devin. Devin lives with passion, right? Sounds like a few of you in the audience.
Cut to a crowd, just one woman nodding.
Devin lives life to the fullest. Devin uses a bit till people issue a restraining order against her. She goes too hard. Devin versus everyone else. Devin's heavier. Because her passion far exceeds her human form. Next slide. Now, what I'm posing to you is something so passionate that maybe you won't even understand it at first. You know, we have pride in our country, right? Oh, go America, USA, USA.
Yeah, go
whatever.
Yeah, every day I say that. Yeah.
Sir, in the audience, you strike me as an Orioles fan. I'm talking to the redhead.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how would you express that?
Wearing clothes, I guess.
Wearing clothes. Wearing an Orioles hat, perhaps. What I am suggesting here today, I think that Americans could use a little more pride in themselves. I think that the entire North Midwest, as I like to call it, could just have a big old baseball hat.
Is this giant hat going to have effect on, the weather, the climate? And it's got to have some
Thank you for asking.
ecological effects, right?
Pollution, smog. I don't like these things.
Mm-mm.
Neither does Devin. And neither do you, by virtue of the transitive property, you are Devin. What if we are actually creating a little control experiment for climate change? And we're saying, we don't want any of that disgusting pollution from your lower 45. So next slide. Now, you asked me, how are we going to make a baseball hat to express American pride over states like Minnesota, over states like Wisconsin, over states like Michigan? I'll say 2 of those were key states in the election.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly where I'm going with this.
Tell me more.
The only way we can get this project up and running is if we don't forget to barf. Biden and real financing. So we need our figurehead to support this, and then we need actual money behind it.
You know, Reka, there is a really odd way in which that all kind of came together at the end. I mean, a hat dome as climate change experiment. I'm not exactly sure how the stove and the scale fit in.
Because this plan is cooking, and it's going to bubble over and cake your stove.
You know what? I was impressed enough by how you turned that performance around at the end there that I will give you the 2 points.
Thank you.
That's 2 points for Ryan, 2 points for Reka.
Damn, it's a dead heat.
Mr. Trap,
Yes.
inspire us with your big talk, starting here.
What is a human? What makes someone someone? For ages, we've tried to understand what is the divine spark inside all of us, a soul maybe that makes us who we are. And I say to you that we don't need to worry about the soul. We need to worry about the 3 major parts that make a person a person. And those are, of course, predominantly skin, some hair, and then a little bit of blood.
From my estimation, I've got quite a bit more blood than hair.
I had the same question.
That's actually a common misconception. Next slide, please. Now, with that being said, what if a human could be more than just blood, hair, and skin?
Oh, yes.
What if a human could have hooves? Of course, the dream is always to be the hottest centaur in the world. But, we're going to have to start small. We're going to focus on those hooves. If we can get hooves as a part of the average human, then we can achieve our true potential. Next slide, please. Now, in the early 1800s. This was an era of ingenuity and big dreams. This was the original plan for getting hooves onto people. The sights were set pretty low. They knew from like the first major milestones, they're like, this ain't gonna happen, right? They knew we were looking at hooves. But we thought that by 1959, certainly into 1971, that we could get hooves onto people.
Is there anything to be said about the confluence of these initiatives with like major wars? I'm noticing, lots of no's leading up to World War II, and honestly, wow, like we've got the the Korean War, and then we've got the Gulf War right at the end where nobody knows.
Yeah. War has a way of spurring technology, and advances in the sciences, unfortunately, do sometimes occur around major conflicts, as we're looking forward. And I don't think I even need to explain how hooves would be beneficial on the battlefield, as I think that's pretty self-evident. We've seen some setbacks, but I think, as we'll see in our next slide, there is actually hope for the future. I want everyone in the audience right now, I want you all to look at your hand. Hold out your palm. Look at it. No, you're not imagining things. It's a little hoof-like.
I don't see that at all.
Yeah, no, wait. I don't think
in what way?
And also, if I was going to be a centaur, wouldn't I just get 4 legs and my hands would remain the same?
No, most people assume that in becoming a centaur, you would grow a horse a lower half. But in point of fact, from your shoulders down becomes horse, and a new torso grows up from where your neck.
Oh my God, it's like horse overalls. Like,
yes, exactly.
Yes, horse overalls.
But yes, if you compare your hands with the hands of someone from 1800, you'll see it is significantly more hoof-like. Our dreams of making a human more than just skin and hair and blood, but in fact, skin, hair, blood, and hooves is closer today than it ever has been before.
Wow, Trap, really well rounded, bringing it all together at the end there for a little bit of an interactive experience, remaining on message throughout. I give you the full 3 points.
Thank you very much.
Scores as we head into the mini game are Brian with 2, Reika with 2, Trap with 3. Academics think they know everything, but everyone has holes in their knowledge. Today, we're going to play a game called Who's the Expert? I have invited in an academic to join us and have here a list of topics, each of which one of the 3 of you is an expert in. And you will each have 10 seconds to convince our academic that you are the expert on that topic. Make sense?
Okay, I think
so.
Yeah.
Introducing now a professor of sociology at Columbia University and my brother, Adam Reich. Hey!
Hey!
Thank you so much for joining us. What do you think about the notion of expertise?
Well, expertise is dead.
Okay, and so we should get rid of the game.
This is going to be great for us, yeah.
The very premise of the game is deeply flawed.
What do you mean expertise is dead?
Trust in expert knowledge is at an all-time low. Trust in scientific expertise more generally has been declining for the last 30, 40 years. So all of your expertise is really, it's all full of shit.
All right, Rika, you have 10 seconds to convince me that you're the expert in Frasier.
Frasier was a show that was on from 1993 to 2003, starring Kelsey Grammer, David Hyde Pierce, Perry Gilpin, and Jane Leeves. It is about a man who lives with his father, and it is a love story between 2 brothers, a father and a son, and a dog.
And that's it for Rika going to Trap for 10.
Frasier is a spin-off of Cheers with the character of Frasier played by Kelsey Grammer. Most of the comedy from the show comes from this idea of Frasier as a very high-class individual with his low-class, low-brow, blue-collar father, and the comedy that comes from the interactions between
10 seconds over, Ryan.
Joe Frazier was a boxer who took on Muhammad Ali in the 1980s in the Rumble in the Jungle. Down went Frazier, the iconic phrase where Joe Frazier knocked out Muhammad Ali, the winner of the Rumble in the Jungle, has gone on to, have a storied career.
And that is it. Adam, who do you think the expert is?
I think it's very clear that the expert is Reika.
Trap. You have 10 seconds to convince me that you're the expert in vegan desserts.
So the thing with vegan desserts is that you're going to have to be you're replacing a lot of things like eggs and dairy that people tend to like in desserts. But there are a lot of great substitutes that you can have there. There's vegan butter, there's coconut oil, and there's things like chia seeds that you can moisturize.
And that's it for Trap. Reka, 10 seconds.
Miyoka's vegan butter is the worst vegan butter on earth. It tastes like coconuts. The other things you can use are Earth Balance sticks, Earth Balance margarine. You can also use tapioca flour. You can use arrowroot starch and all sorts of things to get a thickening agent into your vegan dessert. You can also use aquafaba.
That's it for Reka. Ryan.
Vegan desserts defeated by Muhammad Ali in the 1980s. Down goes vegan desserts, crushed by the strong hands of the very strong, fast, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Muhammad Ali, the Rumble in the Jungle, iconic in the ring.
And that is it. Who do you think the expert was?
This feels like a trick question because there's no such thing as expertise in vegan desserts. They're just disgusting. But I'll give it to Mike.
Fair enough. It goes to Mike. Ryan, you have 10 seconds to convince me that you are the expert in The Sims. Go!
The Sims is a simulation game where you're a family. There's The Sims 1, 2. They had expansion packs for both, and there was 3 and 4 on PC, Mac. And yeah, it's a game where you build a family and live out a life on your computer.
10 seconds, Reka.
The Sims is a single-player simulation game where you can be a character in a family, and you can also have expansion packs where you have dogs and cats and magic and vampires, and you can also have a job. You can go to The Sims at work, and you can also grow older. Starting in The Sims 2, you're able to age with your Sim, and they could die of old age or die of starvation, which is really a fascinating...
And 10 seconds to Trap.
The Sims, the winner of the Rumble in the Jungle. Muhammad Ali. No one was expecting it, but there, a little diamond floating right above his head. Those Sims, it was a whole family of them coming in just wailing on him.
And that's it. Adam, who do you think the expert was in The Sims?
I'm disturbed by the form of her expertise. She's killing off characters. However, it does demonstrate a textured knowledge of the game playing. So I think I might have to go for Reka.
Adam, well done. The answer to all 3 of these was Reka.
That's so psycho, Sam. I was losing my fucking mind.
Adam, thank you so much.
Thank you, brother. Bye, everyone. Nice
Bye,
to
Adam.
meet you.
The points as we head into round 2 of our game. Ryan with 2, Trap with 4, Reka with 4, a dead heat. Ryan,
Yeah,
would you inspire us?
totally.
Your first slide being.
All right. Well, this almost goes without saying, you guys.
So why'd say it?
I don't even need to explain this.
I think we've all known this for quite some time, but it helps every now and then for points to be reiterated so they don't get lost in time. This is your brain on Hugs. And as you can tell by the electricity coming out of it and the smiles that they're sharing, it's just absolutely astounding. I mean, I love it. People love it. And next slide.
To be clear, the lightning is good.
Yeah. And to that same effect, this Grim Reaper is also good. In this diagram, we see the intersection of death, often thought of as a sad thing to be lamented, thing to be feared. Cats die. This woman will die.
Today?
Yes, these will both die today. I have them backstage, and it is going to happen. What I want to make clear to you is that they back there are so afraid. But before I came out here, I hugged them both. They did say, stop, you don't have to do this, but they also smiled a little bit. And that just goes to show in the face of death, the power of hugs is enormous.
Do you know that woman?
I do very well. This is my aunt. Next slide, please. Now, this is where things go off the path. I think you think, what is the point of this presentation? Hugs are great. Everyone knows that. I do need to make this clear. A hug of Santa is a kiss of death. It's likened to an atomic bomb blast. There's radiation for weeks. We don't know what's chemically within him, but I beg of you not to hug Santa Claus.
From what I've understood about Santa is that he's nice.
Totally.
So what is this you're telling me now that he'll cause nuclear destruction?
I'm so glad you brought that up. So are we familiar with the Grinch?
Intimately.
Intimately, great.
Sexually, yes.
So in the story of the Grinch, I mean, obviously, the warmth, the love, the hugs that he's given grow his heart 3 sizes. Santa's heart is already as the biggest size in the world. He has the biggest heart ever, and if he is to be hugged, like in Spider-Man 2, the sun they build, it's kind of like that, where the hug will explode out and destroy everything.
What does this say about Santa's relationship with Mrs. Claus?
Very good question.
Uh-oh. They ain't getting any action.
Reka, that's verbatim it. They ain't getting any action. So take from that what you will, but it is what it is. Next slide, please. The centerpiece of my argument. What all of this has been leading up to. I regrettably, I think as we can all see, it's having a little bit of trouble. In rehearsal, we couldn't get it to work, so I don't know why I thought it would work now. Just suffice it to say, it was a very well-produced CGI recreation of what would happen if you were to hug Santa Claus. And I mean, the people who did work on it, I just want to thank them, because you guys can imagine how cool it would have been. Thank you so much for your time.
Very well done, Ryan. I really liked how you managed to sort of dig holes for yourself and then try to scamper on out of them. I'll give you 2 points.
All right.
The thesis of which I think I could say is we should all hug each other, but not Santa.
Yes, exactly. He's a frightening beast.
Rega.
Okay.
Let's hear your big idea, starting here.
Blah, 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 blah.
I think this is going to be a good one.
Aren't you guys so tired of small talk? Hey, honey, how are you doing? Hi, I'm doing fine. Oh my God, how's the weather? Why don't you go outside and check yourself? Well, I posture to you. Hot dogs are like the small talk of food. Just something boring and droll. Oh, you don't know what to eat? Pick up a hot dog at the vendor. It's tiring, and I think we deserve better. It's something we're settling for.
Okay.
Next slide. The redhead up front.
Yeah.
You're laughing. Why?
Don't give it to her, Ryan.
Why are you laughing? Because I would venture to say you laughing is sort of offensive. Because I think you're laughing because this duck is in a business suit and has a nice body.
That's exactly what I was laughing at, yeah.
Well, that's what I have to say is a common misconception, that this duck can't exalt itself to be a businessman. This is what I'm saying. You're settling for hot dogs. You're settling for a duck just sitting around quack, 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 quack. You're not believing that anything can be a level above what it is now.
I just have a question of clarification.
Okay.
What is the misconception here?
The misconception is that this duck can't dream about being a man.
The misconception is that it's a fantasy.
The misconception is that that should be in a thought bubble and not a speech bubble.
Speech bubble.
Yes.
It's not a thought, it is. Next slide. So what I'm here today is to tell you that you can exalt anything in your mind to be at a higher level. You can achieve more than you think you can. For instance, redhead in the front.
Can you please stop picking on?
Tell me what this graph means.
Yeah, you do the presentation.
What? No. Let me tell you, redhead, you're stuttering.
I feel picked on.
There's something deep in your psyche that feels picked on, that feels lesser than, that feels you can't explain this graph. Well, I'm here to tell you, even the most confusing graph that my son put together can be understood. Look at this graph. I told my son, make something incomprehensible. Let me trick the audience. Let me see if they really doubt their mind capacity that much. And you all fell for it, and I'm sorry you fell for it. But I'm here to tell you, you can understand this graph. Look at this. All it's saying is that volcanic eruptions have sort of had a relatively similar level of occurrence from 1960 to 2010, whereas women named Allison has been on a relative decline and then an uptick, and that these two patterns are unrelated.
To be clear, you're saying that this is a silly slide your child made that you put into the presentation to prove that anyone could do anything?
Stand up, sir. Stand up. Stand up, sir.
Okay, but I'll be out of frame.
Sir, you are the first person in this audience today that has chosen to believe in themselves, that has chosen to look at something confusing and go, no, that's possible. Ducks can wear suits. Graphs can mean something. Next slide, unless this is done.
No, there's one more.
Uh-oh. The only person on my side in this argument so far has been Adam Driver. We do phone calls about this. We're trying to get the word out. We're trying to get people to believe in themselves, to believe that they are more than they think they are. But they think he's bananas. People think he's bananas.
Thank you, Reka, for telling us very passionately and in a very roundabout way to believe in ourselves. I will give you 2 points for that absolutely insane presentation. Trap.
Let's do it.
Here's your first slide.
Folks, there's a problem with society these days that we've all run into at some point or another. We've all been invited to a mysterious mansion. No explanation about why we're there. No explanation about what binds the other strangers that are in that room. Yet, within that house are the tools of our own destruction. A candlestick, a rope, a wrench, a gun, a knife, a lead pipe, not pictured here. Didn't have the money to get the picture of the lead pipe. These dangers are there, and I do believe that there is a solution. That solution is here on our next slide. Let's take a look. It's fish people. Not fish people. It's fish, comma, people. I'm addressing you.
You see, I told you.
The people.
Dangers lurk everywhere. And who better to teach us how to confront those dangers than fish? Now, it is because of the dangers that these fish face. One of the oldest branches of the tree of life on Earth, they're still thriving, they're still living because they know how to confront danger. Now, how specifically do fish deal with danger? Next slide, please. Well, it's like that joke about the boy in the water fountain, you know?
This is one of his greatest. I've seen a YouTube video of this joke.
You love this joke.
This joke is so funny.
Film it.
I'm surprised he's doing
It's a
it
classic,
again.
really.
It's hard to beat.
Boy walks up to a water fountain. Leans in. Presses the button. Squirts him in the eye. Fuck, the boy screams.
Whoa, okay.
Fuck, shit, ass. Wipes the water out of his eye. Leans in for another sip because the boy's thirsty. Presses the button. Right in the eye again. The other eye this time. Again, stream of profanities, the likes of which a young boy should not know, come erupting out of his mouth. But he's so thirsty.
This is the best part.
This is the best part.
Boy goes up third. He leans in. He presses the button. Straight down his throat. Right into his lungs. He drowns. Boy goes up to heaven.
Oh, it's still going. All right.
He's talking to St. Peter, and he's like, all I wanted in life was just a little bit of refreshment. What's going on here? And St. Peter says to the boy, better than getting it in the eye the third time, right?
How is this about fish?
Now, what does this teach us? We're dealing with a law of numbers here. Many people are going to die as we figure out what these dangers are, and we figure out it. But someone is going to find the solution. Someone is going to try something different. They're going to find the way to survive, and then we can all adopt that new strategy and live. And that's exactly what you're going to see on my next slide.
Great.
Yes. This is the pyramid of time. Like nutrition, this tells us how we should be living our lives. You want a healthy dose of the present, all right? That should be most of your time, living in the present, assessing the dangers around you. Also important, the was. These are things you've already learned. These are things you've learned from other people who you've seen die. Then the will be, looking ahead to the future. What dangers do you see coming down the pipeline? And finally, the least important, the will have been. A little bit of that future retrospection can be valuable. People are going to die, but we shouldn't ignore them. We shouldn't ignore the strategies that they took. The people dying right now, the people who died previously, the people you think might die, and the least important of all, the people who will have been dead in the future. Next slide, please. So that was all just the introduction. We've got a lot more to talk about here.
What?
For the comedy value, I desperately want to just give you 1 point. Yes, I think Trap, for that absolute Herculean display of nonsense, I will give you 1 point.
That is totally reasonable.
The score at the end of our game is Ryan with 4 points, Trap with 5, and Reika with 6. Reika, you get to pick something from the winner menu.
Ooh. I'll choose the Gold Belly credits.
Gold Belly credits for Reika. Trap, you may pick something off of the loser menu.
Ooh, that's fun. Let's see. I always insult Sam, so that's not really that special. I'll promote something.
Ooh, great.
Mr. Zach Oyama, who you all know from College Humor and from Dropout, is recording his own live play D&D podcast called the Rotating Heroes Podcast. It'll be like a bunch of very short arcs where lots of different people are going to be playing.
Ryan, something off of the loser menu.
I'll give a virtual hug to my squad real quick.
Oh! Yes.
That's cute.
So nice.
I like it.
That does it for us here at Game Changer. I'm Sam Reich, reminding you that the only difference between a good idea and a bad idea is all in the presentation. Good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.